guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna show you guys what I got.
What's that?
It's a chicken salad.
Just got some fries. And let's see. I added bacon and pepper jack cheese. I am on a diet because it's getting out of hand. So today, Friday, is the last day we're gonna have junk food and all this extra stuff. So if you guys want to join me along the journey, you're welcome to. It starts Monday. Finished eating with the baby, and today's video is gonna be a crazy one because I'm gonna let y'all into some tea. So it's gonna be 3 years since everything happened. I'm gonna just put it out there because I know somebody might need to hear it. The dog literally scared me. I was like, who the fuck is outside? And then I look outside and it's the dog. I'm gonna insert a picture. Just throw this in the trash on the floor because I'm going to clean anyway in a bit. It's Friday. You gotta check it, especially if you have kids. You're literally cleaning every day and they get the stuff dirty so fast. A bitch did not clean 2 seconds ago. Me having a whole little YouTube little setup. Do y'all care?
Girl, what the fuck is you talking about?
Let's start from the beginning.
Once upon a time, there was a lovely princess.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys the story of me being pregnant at 17 and how I hid it from my parents. And they didn't know until literally the day I was gonna fucking pop. Even then, I didn't want them to come to the hospital because I was so stupid. I was like, I'm gonna pass it off just being sick, and they take me to the hospital and shit, and I come back home and nothing's wrong. Knowing damn well my parents are gonna be asking questions. I was dating this guy. I'm gonna just be straight up. He was older than me, and it was kind of sus. But I mean, shit, we can't turn back time. It already happened. So, si me van a criticar por eso, like, bitch, go ahead and get the fuck out because I don't care. It's already done. What can we fucking do? Nothing. We can't do nothing. It's done already. I'm just telling my story. I can't even tell you guys dates, so we're gonna just go by how old I was. Oh, I'm 20 now, and this happened when I was 14, 13. I met this dude. Basically, I met this dude at my uncle's house at a Christmas party. He's not really my uncle, but we call him uncle because he's older. I saw this guy, and I was like, oh, he's cute. Who the fuck is that? Who's that in? And now my boyfriend came over, and he was like, oh, this is Jenny, and this is so and so. We're gonna call him S for the video. He's like, oh, salúdense. And me, hella shy, I was just staring like a dumbass. He said, nice to meet you, and he stuck his hand out, and I literally left him hanging. But I didn't mean to leave him hanging. It was because my dad was right there, and I was scared of my dad. Like, my dad, he's like hella strict. He used to.
Más dime, ¿qué es? ¿Puedo tener un novio? No, te estoy diciendo que no. ¿Ves? Por eso no te pregunto nada. Estás muy joven para tener un pinche noviecito ahí caliente. Ahí todo bien burro, bien denso. Ok, pero por ahí tiene una novia. Mejor pídeme dinero para mandarte a una pinche escuela. Que me preguntes esa pendejada, por favor. Pero mi mamá tuvo un novio cuando ella tuvo 10 años. Mira, nomás que me enteré que tú le andas metiendo esas pinches ideas en su cabecita. ¿Vas a la escuela de hombres? Voy a la escuela de estudiar. Estás bien mensa, no sé por qué me preguntaste algo tan... Ni sé qué decir porque me sacaste las... Mira, hasta me estoy trabando. Me sacaste las pinches palabras de la boca. Tu cara. No, honestamente no quiero ver tu cara. Y no empieces a chillar. ¿Qué pregunta tan estúpida me preguntaste? No quiero novio, nomás quiero un friend. Tú tuviste una novia...
And my dad had already gave me the talk, and he was like, can't have a boyfriend until you graduate high school and you show me you have your little diploma. That was my plan. I mean, I didn't want to like start talking and stuff to guys, but of course not bring them to my dad and be like, oh, this is my boyfriend. I wanted to have a little life of my own too. You know what teenager doesn't, you know? When I did shake his hand, he just looked at me like, I don't know, it was this look. I asked him now, What was he thinking? He just says he thought everybody up here was stuck up and stuff. And now that I ask him, he's like, I didn't even think I was gonna date anybody from here because I thought everybody was like that. He was like, I was ready to go back to my rancho and marry one over there. What the hell? Okay, sir. Some time went by. I didn't even talk to him or nothing like that. I just quedé como like picada. And I, honestly, from deep down, I just felt bad. I basically felt bad that I gave a bad first impression. I lived right in front of my bus stop, and I would see him and barely see him because I didn't even have contacts or glasses back then. Like I was blind as fuck. And he said that one time he waved at me and I didn't wave back. I'm like, dude, I couldn't even see you probably.
Do you see Swiper? Where? Bitch, is you blind?
I couldn't see legally, literally. Some time passed by, and my 15 were gonna come around, and my dad was like, so do you want a 15 or a party? And obviously, I was like, I really don't care, whatever. But I ended up getting the party. Like at the end, I didn't even have a choice. And before my party, I really wanted to go to Mexico. Like that was one of the things that I really wanted to do was go to Mexico. So my mom, she made it happen. I went to Mexico with two of my primos, prima y primo. In Mexico, since there wasn't a lot of service back then, like so the phones were hella slow. So I ended up telling her, hey, can you give me your cousin's number or can you conseguirlo for me? She was like, yeah, I'll conseguirlo for you. She really didn't want to. I don't know why, but she just didn't want to. And I kind of like was begging her to give me his number and like conseguirlo for me. And so we both have the same cousin, but it's different. Look, wait.
He is family with her because he's related on the dad's side, by the dad's side, and I'm related on the mom's side. So
He's not my cousin. Does that make sense? That was awkward. Green tea. She asked her auntie if she could give us the number so she can send some pictures of the family. She ends up getting the phone number and he asked for what, and he was like, my cousin Jenny, she wants your number, she wants to talk to you, blah blah blah. Messages, and he was being weird. He was like, okay, let's see what she on. What you mean what I'm on, the fuck? And so we started talking and blah blah blah. I was like, oh, who are you? And I was like, oh, it's the girl of this place and that place. He was like, oh yeah, I remember you, but I don't remember that happening. The fuck? So I was trying to think of a way to meet up with him again, and my 15 were right around the corner, so I wanted him to be my chambelan, but I just never asked him because I was shy. He did get to see me though at my 15 because he was invited, so from there we just kept close connection. Honestly, my 15 were so embarrassing because I didn't even have a baile, nothing. Like everything was so rushed because I was just coming back from Mexico. But by the time he came, everything was almost over. It was just a little baile at the end and the cutting of the cake. So I slipped away and everybody was having a good time, and me and him were just in the back talking. Anyway, 15 were over. It cemented our friendship even more. We were talking throughout until I turned 17. And that was when we officially started dating, August 18, 2020. I can't believe I'm saying this. He would come see me at my job. And then when I got my new job, I started driving more and I would meet him up at a park. We would talk and stuff like that. Keep in mind, I didn't have in mind, doing anything like crazy with this dude because obviously the age difference. And honestly, I wanted to wait till marriage, if we're being for real. Like marriage because I want to respect a certain boundary. And I told him, and I was like, hey, I really don't want to do anything until I get married. And he was on board with it. He never questioned me. That's one thing that I really liked about him, that he didn't pressure me until I was ready. We would meet up at this park all the time, and we would see each other and asked me if we wanted to date. He gave me this big teddy bear. Should I show you guys this teddy bear? He's so cute. It doesn't smell like him no more. To my job, and he would give me like a flower. You're gonna be my so what are we and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, because you haven't asked me officially if I wanted to be a girl. So I don't know, what are we? He was like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And I was like, of course. So I ran to go put it in my car. That's when we gave a little kissy kiss, like our official kiss as boyfriend and girlfriend. I mean, we've kissed before, but this time it was like as my boyfriend, you know? There's a lot of cuts in the video is because I literally think I have ADHD, because I literally can't keep a straight thought. I don't know why. I honestly think it was a Jezebel spirit or something. Porque I was like, one day he was out at night, right, working, because he used to work like en las noches. And keep in mind, we would be on the phone, all that lovey-dovey shit. And honestly, I don't know why out of nowhere I was like, I sent him a freaky text, like, and he was like, "What do you mean? Are you serious?" I was like, he was like, "Are you a V?" I'm like, obviously. Says he never, he's a V too, but I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on him because that's his story to tell. So I'm not gonna say shit. But one day he was like, "Oh, you can tell me when you're ready." I don't know, bitch. Oh, bitch. Am I literally saying this on camera right now? He was like, whenever you're ready, I don't want to pressure you. If you want to wait until marriage, we'll wait. Now I look back and I was like, I wish I would have waited. It would have avoided so many issues. But I finally wanted to, experience that. And this happened around, I can't remember when it was. I'm gonna ask him because he knows. But when I lost my V, it wasn't like crazy or nothing. Like, it just happened, and literally I was crying because I was like, I can't believe I just did this. And then it wasn't even all that, like, because I was so scared, like my body was like so tense, so nothing too crazy happened. And I was just like, just stop, I can't. But in October, that's when we really got down, and that's when I ended up pregnant. And it was my fault because I told him that I didn't think I can get pregnant while I was on my Period. Did I spell that right? Period. I didn't think that I can get pregnant while I was on that. So, and I didn't do no plan B, no nothing. And I just forgot about it, honestly. Like, one day I just started feeling like I don't feel too good. I had like a sensation that something was wrong. I was like, my body is feeling different. Oh, I hadn't gotten my period too, but I didn't think much of it because I am regular. I was like, maybe I looked it up online. It was like, sometimes you get missed periods because I was a little bit overweight. Not where I am now, but I was overweight. So I thought, I was like, maybe it's just because I'm a big bitch. Some people have PCOS, they have endometriosis. So they can also go through that. So I was like, maybe it's something like that. So I didn't really care. But after a while, I would eat and like the food wouldn't sentarme. Like, I would literally throw up. So that's when I decided to take a pregnancy test. Oh, and I had a lot of heartburn. So I was like, let me take a pregnancy test. And I went to his house and I took a pregnancy test, and I was like, bitch, I'm pregnant. He was like, you're lying. Because I had already scared him before. Just joking around. And he was like, are you being serious? I was like, yes, I'm pregnant. And he was looking at the manual, the manual for the pregnancy. He was looking at it and he was like, which one is it? Which one does it mean? And I'm like, look, it's 2 lines. What happened? But he just hugged me and he said, it's going to be okay. We're going to tell your parents He was like, "We're gonna tell your parents. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay." I'm like, "Bitch, we're not telling them shit because as soon as I tell them, they're gonna kill me." After begging him over and over that I didn't want to tell them because I was so freaking scared, he finally agreed and he was like, "Okay, we'll do it on your time." And then I told him, I was like, "Do you want my dad to kill me? You know how he is, because he's known for having a bad temper." So yeah. Honestly, I forgot about it. I was like, if I pretend that I'm not pregnant, I'm not gonna be pregnant. I was so stupid. I was like, I'm just gonna ignore it. I still have time. I can still think things through. And honestly, I don't. I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I did think about abort mission. I saw this video that's like my manita, that little video, and I felt so sad and I started crying and I was like, I can't do it. But I was so scared of my parents that I literally thought about doing that. I told him, he's like, no, how are you gonna do that? It's literally a baby. He's like, I don't care, we're gonna go tell them. And multiple times he told me, we're gonna go tell them, we're gonna go tell them. But I can tell he was scared too. But he was just scared that I was gonna go through it or I was gonna end up telling somebody to help me. Honestly, time passed by and I just kept going to work. I used to come home late so my parents wouldn't see me. And I would go see my boyfriend and I would tell them that I would stay work late. I always went to work up until like I literally almost exploded. But I just needed I feel like I need a reassurance. Especially since we weren't living together. I wanted him to still experience it with me. So he was like, we need to tell them. We would always talk about we need to tell them, and I would just shut him off, and I would be like, no, how we're gonna tell them? You know what's gonna happen, but we have to say something. So you can go get checked up, so you can go so we can see how the baby's doing and stuff like that. I was like, I know, I'll look into it, but I don't want to tell my parents. He would just say that I need to get some vitaminas for the baby and that I need to eat good and all that good stuff. Work, he would always check up on me on the weekends when he wasn't at work. He'll ask me, "Do you need anything? Do you want to eat anything?" And he'll bring me food. I used to crave strawberries and watermelon and mango all the time. And he would go to Hanitzo, to a little ice cream place, and he would always. And every time he went, he would ask for the same thing for me. And even the ice cream person, he was like, it's not even the season for watermelon. Where am I supposed to get the watermelon from? You always ask me every time you come. I was delulu. I was delusional. I didn't want to believe I was pregnant. And bitch, I was pregnant as fuck. Quick side story because it's important. We finally had a system where after work, we would go to the park, and from the park we would go to his house. And on the weekends especially, he had to be there on time because the weekend and my parents were home, so I couldn't be out too late because they were gonna start suspecting. And it was always the weekends where he would act up and he wouldn't be there on time because he said he had to go pick up his brother and that they were going to go at a basketball tournament. Like, the fuck? So it was this one weekend where I couldn't take it anymore. He didn't come on time and I always stayed in the car because I didn't want nobody to see me. And I was already having anxiety because I was enclosed for such a long time. And he was like, well, you have to wait because I have to go pick him up and we're gonna go to the tournament. I was like, well, you can't go to the tournament, I don't want you to. And he was like, you can't tell me what to do, I'm your boyfriend, not your slave. Ooh, bitch, I motherfucking lost it. And I was like, okay, that's how it is, all right, bet. And so yeah, I ended up breaking it off with him, and I told him, you know what, fuck you. I don't want to be with you no more. Literally, I forgot I was pregnant. All I said was fuck you and blah, blah, blah. And I blocked him. We went without talking for 2 days. And I don't know if it was the hormones, but I wanted to get my lick back. So I was like, okay, you want to do that shit to me? Okay, I'm going to talk to another motherfucker. And so I started texting this guy that I used to text before, and we just started catching up, and he was just asking me questions, and I was telling him that I wanted to move out and blah blah blah, that I don't want to live with my parents no more. And because my parents at this time, they were hella toxic. And he was like, you let me know, we can be roommates, let me know when you move out, and I'll help you pay the rent and stuff like that. Fucking dumb shit. No, I ended up blocking him because I unblocked my boyfriend, and my boyfriend told me that guy was saying that he was talking to me. that we were talking on a talking stage that I had no idea they worked together. He was like, okay, but still, you were still talking to him. That's wrong. I'll be there for the baby, and we can be together for the baby. But honestly, so basically, I think we broke up. I don't know what the fuck happened, or we just had a break or something. And he was like, honestly, I didn't think you would do that to me. I was like, dude, what? I didn't do shit. I was just talking to him. He was like, but still, I feel like betrayed and shit like that. And I was like, okay. And so one day, did my hair. I was looking cute. And we scheduled a date to go see each other. I think we just made up in our mind that I wasn't going to tell my parents. And bitch, I just said, fuck it. I was like, so we need to go pick up some stuff for the baby because we don't know if it's going to be a girl or a boy. We need a bassinet and stuff like that. And he was like, okay. So we ended up meeting up at Walmart. And he was like, grab what you need. I'll keep it in my house. And when the time comes, I'll just pack everything and we go. So we finished shopping and we went to his house and put everything up and we started bonding over the things we had bought. And he was just like, we forgave each other and, we hugged and blah, blah, blah. And we started talking and we came to the realization that we weren't going to even go to a doctor, that it was too late. So I was thugging it out and I was like, I guess I'm going to wait till I'm ready to pop and then I'll just rush to the hospital. No, it was May. Sorry, let me go back to May. In May, I started working for somebody else, my second boss actually. I started working for her and she took me in and she was like, oh, how are you? And blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm doing good. And she didn't know I was pregnant. Nobody knew I was pregnant. She did take a sneaky ass picture of me looking fat as fuck, fixing shit. But I always had like a attitude with the employees, with my coworkers, because they would treat me like a fucking slave. They want me to do everything for them, and I'm like, bitch, I'm pregnant as fuck. But they didn't know that. But in my mind, I was like, I'm pregnant as fuck. Why are y'all making me do all this extra shit? It ended there. I didn't talk to her for a little bit. Fast forward to June, I was still pregnant as fuck. I still didn't want to tell my parents, but I can feel, my body started getting more tired. Everything was just bad. And I couldn't take my brothers because they were on break. They were on summer break. And they were just so loud. Like any ruidito would like molestarme. So I would act like I was still going to work. I would pretend I would still go to work. But I would just go to my boyfriend's house and nap all day from 4 until time to go home. And I would wait for my boyfriend and we would eat. And then I would go home as I was working. And I would get home late, so my parents would already be asleep. And my dad, he was still doing his hood rat shit. I'm sorry. He was still doing hood rat shit, so he would come home to like 12. So he wouldn't see me. And so I would go to sleep, wake up the next morning, do the same routine. I never got caught, but one day my dad was looking at me and he was looking at me kind of weird. But I was just like, he was like, you're getting fatter. He was like, you're getting fatter. I was like, I know, I'm gonna lose weight and blah blah blah. He didn't see me or nothing like that, so he didn't say anything anymore. So I was growing closer to my mom. Me and my mom were really close. But I never told her. I never had la confianza to tell her because I was scared. I told her she was gonna tell my dad either. She was gonna tell my dad either way. She was gonna tell him, or if she helped me carry out the plan that I had in mind, my dad was gonna get mad as fuck with her. Fast forward now, we're gonna fast forward. Sorry, fast forward a lot. Fast forward. July, those last days, those first days of the month, I was feeling horrible. I couldn't take my back. I couldn't get up. He had to help me get up and all that. It was just horrible. So on the 6th, I couldn't take it no more. I was like, take me to your house. And I was like, I think I was having contractions. That's what that was. I was having contractions and I was like, I can't do it anymore. I was like, I'm going to hold off one day, but I don't think I can do it. And I can see my belly had dropped already. So honestly, I'm confused. I don't even know what was going on. But he helped me get out the car and he sat me in the car and he took me to his house. We ate. I could barely eat. Like the pain was that fucking hard. I went back home, and at night I was struggling to sleep. I would go over on the sillon and like rest like this, bending forward, and that was the only alleviating position to relieve the pain. And the 7th, I went to his house and I couldn't take it. I was hungry as fuck. I hadn't eaten anything, and he had some pan in the cabinet, so I ate some dry pan with water. I was texting him like, I can't take it no more. My stomach hurts, and I was going to the restroom constantly. I needed to pee. And the last time I went was what broke the camel's back, because a gush of water came rushing down my thighs. I texted him and I was like, you need to hurry up and come because I feel like something's wrong. I'm scared. What are we going to tell my parents? I'm more scared because I don't want to disappoint my mom. And he was like, just wait. Don't get stressed out. I'm almost home. I'm about to be there in a couple minutes. And then he finally came, and it was around 5 or 6. And just even thinking sorry for now, what like, you guys are about to see, but I couldn't hold it in anymore and I started crying. So sorry about that. I try to cut as much as I can out. To do, I haven't spoken about this in like the longest, at least not the true version. Like this is the first time I'm saying the truth, and it's like taking a lot for me to say it, but I want to say it because I know somebody out there might be going through the same thing, and if you are going through it, but don't be fucking scared. This is me later recording, so I'm gonna say it more calmly. Don't be scared. Tell somebody. Get help. Get prenatal care, because it's not fun. It's not fun going through it like this. Going through pregnancy alone is it's horrible. I wouldn't wish this on anybody, what I went through, because I was so scared. Like I didn't even want to go to the doctor. Like, what am I gonna say when I get to the hospital? What if they don't take me in? What if they say I can't see you, you need a parent or something like that? I was trying to avoid going to the hospital, and he was like, you need to go to the hospital, because what if something happens to the baby? He helped me get in the car, and we got to the nearest hospital, and we were in the parking lot for like an hour or two, and I was so scared, and I called the hospital and told them where can I go? And I called, and I was like, I'm pregnant, and I think my water broke. And she was like, oh, did you call your doctor already? I was like, I don't have a doctor. And she was like, you can just come through to the I forgot what it's called, the labor and delivery. I forgot, something like that. She was like, you can come through there and they will help you out at the front desk, something like that. And honestly, I didn't even know where that was. So I told them, let's just go to the emergency room and go from there. Like the pain was getting unbearable. I was yapping too much, so I'm gonna just sum it up. I went through the hospital's emergency doors. I signed in. I told them that my parents were out of town, that my cousin is bringing me in, that I was pregnant, and I didn't know how far along I was, and I'm just having very severe pain. And they just told me to have a seat, that they were gonna see me in a bit. A bit turned into hours, and they didn't hurry up. So I was walking in and out of the restroom because the pain was just getting so bad. They called me in to take my vitals. They got a pee sample, and then they asked me a couple questions about how far along I thought I was and when I had my last missed period. And I was just acting stupid, like I didn't know. And they were like, okay, you can go back outside and have a seat. And that's what I did. I went back up to the front desk and I asked them about how long do they think they were going to take to see me. They told me they didn't know. They didn't have a wait time, that sometimes it can take a couple minutes to a couple hours. And that's when I started crying. I was like, I can't take it anymore. I feel like I'm going to, pass out. And she was like, okay, give us one moment. And then I started crying because I just felt like there wasn't any hope. And I went to the restroom one last time, and the nurse walked in. She was like, are you so and so? You can go ahead and get ready. We have a room ready for you. And that's when they started checking me up. I had told them that there was some mucus that had came out, that if they could I don't know what it was. They got me in. They started checking me. They took me to this to check my stomach. and I was trying to make conversation with the lady because I was just so scared. I knew I knew I was doing something wrong. I knew that they were gonna get on me because I didn't seek out I didn't seek prenatal care. So she was like, "How long do you think you are?" I'm like, "I don't know. I think about 4 months." And she was like, "No, you got a full grown baby in your stomach." And like that's when it hit. And I just felt like guilt. Like, you have a full grown baby. She's like, it's literally ready to come out. She's like, "We're gonna go ahead and get you settled in a room." And we're like, "But I think you're gonna need they took me in a smaller room, I think. I can't remember exactly. It's like a blur. But I remember they took me into like a small room, like one of those pediatric beds, like the ones when you go when you're in the pediatra. The doctor came in and she was like, "We looked at your pee sample and you are pregnant, and we're gonna give you I think it was morphine. We're gonna give you a morphine shot because you have an infection and all this." And I was like, so they stepped out. That's when I started panicking because my dad texted me. He was like, "Where are you?" It was late already. I told him, oh, I lied to him. I was like, oh, the China, she invited me out to eat. My boss, basically, I'm sorry, I call her the China, but my boss, what I was telling my dad, that wasn't true though. She invited me out to eat and it got late and she told me I should just stay at her house and blah, 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 lying to my dad and stuff like that. To do so, I texted my boss and I was like, hey, no, I called her and I told her the situation that was going on. She's like, oh my God, Jenny, you're crazy. She's like, I don't know if I can do that for you. I don't want to get in any trouble and blah, blah, blah. I was like, you're not going to get in trouble. I just need you to help me out. And she was like, okay, what you want me to say? Just text me. It was 3 a.m. when I was texting her. And it's 3 or 2 a.m. And I feel so bad. And I told her, I'm so sorry. I told her what was going on. And she texted my dad and she sent me a screenshot of what she had said and that my dad didn't give me permission and blah, blah, blah. She's like, what do you want me to say? And my dad was basically, I didn't give her permission. She was lying and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. And so my dad stopped texting me from there. Or I stopped responding because he called me first. He called me and I was scared and I didn't answer. And then he texted me. And then I told him I told him the whole thing I just told you right now. And then I just stopped texting back. And that's when they gave me the morphine shot and I forgot about everything. They took me into a delivery room. They hooked me up. They put some suero on me and they started telling me to move around and they needed to check. They would come in every so often and come check me. And they shoved their hand to check how much dilated I was. And you still got a little bit to go. But I was having hella pains and they kept telling me to turn around and it was just a lot going on. Out of nowhere I felt like this big pain and I was like, I'm ready to push. They put the epidural on me. I turned around like this. They got me in my back. So when they put the epidural on me, I laid back down and I was just waiting and waiting. They would come and check up on me again, and then out of nowhere, I felt like this urge to push. Like, I need a push. I need a push. They were like moving, and they were like, she's ready. And oh, bitch, I was like, they were like, put your legs up, and they put my legs up. I was ready to give birth, and they were like, you need a push. And my boyfriend was holding my hand. He still has scratches. He says there's scratches for me that I was scratching him. And I couldn't take the pain. That was the worst. He said you were grabbing me like a fucking punching bag. I was scratching him hard. I couldn't take the pain. And he was like that I was pushing and that I think it took like 3-4 pushes and she was out. She was out. I just remember apologizing like every 2 seconds. Sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And when I finally pushed, I was like, thank you. I was like, thank you. And then I didn't hear the baby cry. I didn't hear her cry. It was a couple seconds before she cried. And like, but those seconds, like when you're giving birth, like those seconds seem like minutes. I don't know. And I was like, why is she not crying? Finally she cried and I was able to get a glimpse of her, and I didn't know if it was a girl or a boy. So when the nurse said, oh, it's a beautiful baby girl, that's when I shouted to my boyfriend, it's a girl, it's a girl. And I was like, well, I said it in Spanish and I was like, es una niña, es una niña. And I felt like relief. They stitched me up. I needed about 1 stitch, they said, because I had tore a little bit. I remember thanking them. I was just like, thank you. I'm so sorry. The story's almost over, guys, but I'm still like triggered. Like, I'm sorry. You can probably see me looking out the cameras because I still can't believe it, you know? I was just so thankful that she came out a full grown baby. I didn't even look at her features. I just looked that she had her feet and her hands and she was healthy, and that was all I needed to know. Because I knew if something went wrong with my baby, it was going to be my fault. Because I think you can't get prenatal care. I think I was scared because I couldn't get prenatal care because I needed to tell my mom so she can take me. I don't know. I just was stupid. When you're young, you're just stupid. And so when she was born and she came out, you know, good, healthy, I was just so happy and I felt like I could relax. And and that's when I got like my strength. I'm gonna insert some pictures because I had told my boyfriend some stupid shit. I was stupid. I had told him, I was like, we can you can take care of her and I can go back home like nothing happened before I gave birth, obviously. I'll see her until I can figure out a way to tell my parents, which was never gonna fucking work. Like, no, how are you gonna do that? We can't do that. We have to take care of her together. She needs her mom in her life. How am I gonna care for a baby by myself? You just need to tell your parents. And I told my dad, I texted my mom and my dad, and it was just so awful because we were texting back and forth, and he was like, how could you lie to us? What's going on? And I told him, I was like, oh, it's because I didn't feel good. I came to the hospital. I think I had a lombriz or something. Basically lying, saying I had like a food illness or something. He was like, where are you so we can go see you? And then when I said I had a food illness, I sent him a picture of the baby, and my dad just stopped responding. And he was just like, how could you do this? Why didn't you tell us? And it was a whole thing. And my mom, when I talked to her about it, she was saying that my dad was getting mad at her. Was saying that she probably knew. I told my dad too. I was like, don't be mad at my mom because my mom, she didn't know. I didn't tell nobody for the same reason because I knew you were gonna get mad at her. He didn't believe me, and then we just stopped talking. He was like, where are you? What hospital are you at so I can come see you? I think that was my mom texting. I honestly don't know, but um that's it. We just didn't talk for a little bit. I didn't want to see my parents, honestly, because I was embarrassed. I would send pictures to my parents and try to get in their good graces, but they really didn't care. Until one day I texted my dad and he was like, I was like, I don't want you to be mad at me anymore. It's not the baby's fault that things happen like this. Like, no, it's not the baby's fault, but you still did it, and blah blah. And my dad was just angry at me. He was like, if you guys are basically, if we had huevos to come see him, that we were gonna see him that day, and not that I was gonna forget about them, and that he wasn't gonna ever talk to me. That I could forget about my family because he wasn't gonna ever talk to me again. So that's when I started crying like crazy, and I told my boyfriend, I was like, we have to go. My phone died, guys. I'm sorry, and I had to go change the baby's diaper. That was the end of the story, basically. I ended up making up with my parents that day. Well, not making up. We just talked, and they were like, "Why didn't you say nothing?" And I'm sorry, and stuff like that. And that's it. Nothing much happened after that. I was now invited to the house. I could go to the house. I went to go get my some of my stuff. But I could go to the house more comfortably, and I would take my brothers out and stuff like that to try to reconnect with them, because I feel like they felt betrayed. They would ask where I was, and they would be like, they would talk shit about me and stuff like that. But I was mostly sad because of my little brother. My brother was with me throughout the pregnancy, even though he didn't know I was pregnant. But when I came tired from work, I would tell him, could he rub my feet? Could he like massage my feet, because they would be so tired of me being up all day. And he would like be like, okay, but can you let me borrow your phone? And I was like, yeah, when I fall asleep you can grab it, and whatever. So he would rub my feet and stuff like that. And even though I don't know if he remembers or not, but even though it was something so small, like I would cry at night and I would just be like, I was just so stupid. I wish things could have been different, but I don't regret it one bit because I have my baby. I feel like it just made the bond with my brother stronger. I don't know, because I just felt so grateful that he was there for me. But he was sad because I would text him on Instagram because he didn't have line, I think. And he would be like, Jenny, where are you? Are you okay? And he was like, dad's talking with mom and they're saying this and that. And it would just break my heart because I couldn't defend myself. I couldn't explain myself. This was before talking to them though. And then my uncle, well, he's not even my uncle, he's whatever. My mom's like my grandma's godson, so he calls my mom his sister. But he would be talking with my mom and my brother. He would be like, oh, he's talking shit about you with mom and blah blah blah, that how could you do that, and I don't know what. And I was just like, it's fine, I don't care. I'm like, things happen for a reason. But I don't know. But now we're good. I would just felt sad because I left my brothers and my two younger ones, the two little ones. They're not even little no more. They're grown already, but not grown, but they're older now. But they used to get on my nerves a lot, and even though they always got on my nerves, like I missed them so much. I was like, my little brothers, I feel bad for them, and I would cry. I was like crying for like a week every night. My brothers, and I would tell my boyfriend I miss my brothers. It's okay, you're gonna see them again, don't be sad. I think I low-key had postpartum depression or something, because I would look at my baby and even though I was happy when she was born and I was grateful, like that first couple of days, like I was like out of it. Like I would look at her and I was like, I can't believe she's mine. Like I can't believe she's here. Like I'm like, I don't know. But she would cry a lot and I would just be like, that's what happens to me for being stupid. And I don't know, I was just going through it. And thank God my boyfriend, he would help me. He would stay up at night and help me take care of her. He would give her her bottle and all that, just because I couldn't wake up. Like I would be sleeping and I couldn't hear. He said that the baby was crying and that I wouldn't get up like at all. And I was like, I didn't hear her crying. He was like, she was crying. Especially I got scared because one day that I was breastfeeding her, she didn't really drink a lot. So she was just there and like, I don't know, out of nowhere I just fell asleep. I fell asleep and he was like, and like I felt like I fell forward and I woke up and I was holding the baby and I was like, I got so scared. I thought I had dropped her. And ever since then, take care of her. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Sorry, oh my God. I don't know why my hair is itchy.
Mama, I got mine.
Is it the piojos? That was basically the end of the story. But yeah. Don't be scared, guys. If you guys are going through something like that, and if you can talk to whichever parent you're more close to, I would say tell them. Don't do like me, because I was literally going through it. And I wish I would have told my parents, you know. Well, at least I wish I would have told my mom, because she could have guided me more. I wouldn't have felt so alone during my pregnancy. That's what I regret. I regret not telling her. I wish it could have been different. I wish I would have waited. I wish I wouldn't have been stupid. But if you... Sorry about the boogers. But if you're ever in that situation, no, you're not alone. If you guys need any advice, I can do the best of my abilities to give out some of my advice and what I went through. You can leave a comment. Follow me on my Instagram, Facebook, my Instagram, and yeah. I hope this video helps somebody out and so you don't feel alone. I will be posting more often. Por algo pasan las cosas. Your life is already, como me dijo una vez alguien, tu vida ya la tienes, tu destino lo tienes marcado. The things that happen to you, it's for a reason. It's for you to grow as a person. You know, don't be scared, because everything works out in the end. You just have to see it through. You're not alone. A lot of us go through this. A lot of mothers. And honestly, I'm so grateful that I have a partner that really understood me and that cared for me, because I know sometimes men can be fucking stupid, which is what I'm gonna tell you guys in the next video. I'm gonna do a story time about how I almost left my man and what the hell happened, because everything is not pintado de rosa. No, everybody goes through something. And yeah, this video is getting hella long, so I'm gonna end it off here. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys on the next one, and say bye, ciao. Bye, love you. Why you got candy on your... Did you eat candy?
I chocolate.
You ate chocolate?
Cheese.
Bye, guys.
The reason we exist, everybody knows.